Okay, we'll start in a minute or so. Jayesh will be reconnecting because there was some technical glitch. So till then, I can brief about him. It was his fourth attempt, and it was first time he cleared prelims. Okay, he has joined. So again, I would like to congratulate you, Jayesh, that you have cracked RBI Grade B this year.
Thank you, Atul sir. Thank you very much.
I would request you to just explain about your strategy. We can start with a brief of your introduction. How did you start? How many years did you take? And I would request you to explain each and everything in detail.
Okay.
Over to you, Jayesh.
Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to start with my background. So, actually, I belong to Harda district of Madhya Pradesh, and I did my initial schooling from Hindi medium school, then switched to English medium school. Then, after schooling, I went for engineering, and I completed my engineering in electronics and communication. Then, at that time, I decided to not to start preparing for CAT. And then after preparing for CAT, I got admission in Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal. So from there, I completed my forest management post-graduation diploma. And after that, I joined MP Forest Department. So there is a society of MP Forest Department. So with MP Forest Department, I worked as a project manager, and my roles and responsibilities included project planning and implementation, and corporate social responsibility and fundraising. So these were the areas I was working with. And at this parallelly, I was also trying to, I was also preparing for RBI. So when I joined the Forest Department, I came to know about this exam from one of my senior who cracked this exam in 2018. So at that time, he was preparing for it from way back then. So he told me about it, and I started preparing from 2018 and gave the exam in 2018. And I was not able to clear the prelims. Second time also I was not able to clear the prelims, and that time also the same scenario was there. And hopefully, unfortunately, this time I cleared the prelims, mains, as well as the interview. So this was my journey in brief. And how we go about it, sir? Should I discuss my strategy first, or people would start asking questions about this, my strategy?
It would be better if you share your strategy first. You can share your phase 1 strategy first, then people can ask questions related to phase 1, then we can move on to phase 2 and then interview phase.
Okay. So in the phase 1, I had some background about aptitude, reasoning, and English because I prepared for CAT and got into the Institute of Forest Management. So for phase 1, in the first 3 attempts, I was not, I did not prepare properly, and my whole focus was on mains. So I started preparing for phase 1 from 50 days before the prelims, and that resulted in failure of my clearing of prelims. So this time I prepared for I started preparing for phase 1 from the date of the notification, and I took 15 mock tests. That was my preparation strategy. I did not go for any individual topic. I took 15 mock tests, 10 from practice mock and 5 from olive board, and I took the test series of 2. So for one day I took the test, and for the second day I started solving the I solved all the 15 mocks. That was my whole preparation for phase 1, because I had some background about the aptitude reading and English from my CAT background. And apart from that, I prepared from Affairs Cloud for the current affairs, and that too very selective, because there is a lot of current affairs in Affairs Cloud. So I was very selective in that. So only 3 months Affairs Cloud was I prepared for focusing on prelims. Apart from that, last 9 to 10 months current affairs I prepared for Affairs Cloud, but the 6 months was all about mains only. No current affair I studied for prelims apart from the last 3 months from the prelims. So this was my strategy for prelims.
Okay, thank you, Jayesh, for sharing your strategy for prelims. So, is there anyone who want to ask question related to phase 1, or shall we move to phase 2? If anyone wants to ask any question, please raise your hand and unmute yourself. Okay, Abhishek, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Which section did you prepare for from the affairs cloud? Like you have to cover all the portion of affairs cloud, or just you cover the banking and awareness portion?
Banking Abhishek, you are not audible to me. Your voice is, not clear.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
My question is, which section did you prepare from affairs cloud? Like, should we prepare only the banking and economic portion from the affairs cloud? Because there is a separate magazine, there is a separate PDF for banking and economy. Or should we prepare for a whole study PDF?
Yeah, I prepared from whole study PDF because it is a comprehensive current affair given in the whole PDF. I did not look for any particular section because all news are relevant regarding economy and suppose finance, banking, and obituary and important days and everything are important in prelims because one question from each section or 2 to 3 questions from each section come in the prelims. So the pocket PDF is important, but you need to understand that there are some current affairs which are relevant to mains. So that current affair has to be studied in detail. And there are one-liner current affairs. For example, obituary is one-liner, international conferences are one-liner, some state news are one-liner news. So you have to study that one line only. Or just 2 lines, which are if you feel that there is some one or 2 important data in that. Apart from that, Affairs Cloud gives a lot of data about a simple news, so that you don't have to go in that much detail because it will consume a lot of time and you won't be able to remember all of it.
Yes, that is creating. Yeah, thank you. Now I understand.
With regard to your doubt, Abhishek, I'll share my Affairs Cloud PDF. I'll scan it and I'll share it with the group. So you will get an idea that what I had prepared for mains and what I had prepared for prelims from that Affairs.
It would be a great help, sir. It would be a great help. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll share.
Okay, so VK has posted his question. What is meant by selective like reading from Affairs Cloud? Can you please elaborate? I think you have already answered that.
Yes, Atul sir, there is one more point I can. For example, there are a lot of days mentioned. Selective means you have to have your syllabus with you for current affairs. Okay, so economic and social issues, current affairs, finance, current affairs are to be studied in accordance with the main syllabus. Apart from that, if you are reading an obituary, so you have to pick some important people because might be related to some social background related to India, economic background related to India, or some important public figure. So it is like that because there are 30, 40, 60 obituaries are there, but I selected only 8 from every month. First, I read all the obituaries in one line and select only 8 on only 8 important days from every month. Okay, only 8 to 9 important appointments from every month. That was my target for that. And I would also like to mention that earlier 3 attempts, I solely depended upon current affairs that I would be able to crack the prelims based on the current affairs, but that is the biggest blunder I made. So I would like you to focus on aptitude reasoning English because these are the sure shot questions and answers. Current affairs pattern and difficulty level changes every time. If it is easy, then many people will get good marks. If it is tough, then people get less marks. But you have to be sure about aptitude, reasoning, and English.
Okay. So there's one more question: how to go with PIB for prelims and mains?
Okay. So I believe PIB is not that important for prelims. So I mean, I did not prepare PIB focusing on prelims. It was all, I mean, I prepared for PIB on mains. So either you can go to the website every day, which is very time consuming. And since I was working, I am a working professional and I did not have a lot of time. So I went through the Atul Sir's group, and every day he shares the PIB news, and I read from there and make notes from there. Apart from that, I read Affairs Cloud every day. So just I skim it. I do not write. I do not make any notes. I just skim it. And when I skim it, I after 2 to 3 days, I came to know that there are certain news covered in PIB, certain news of PIB which are also covered in Affairs Cloud. So that would come in, your monthly study PDF. So every day there are 1 or 2 news which I feel are 2 to 3 news which I feel are important from PIB, of which links are shared by Atul Sir only, and from there I prepared them. And same is for newspaper. Atul Sir shares newspaper articles, important articles, and from there also I took 2 to 3 or important news and prepare notes for mains. It was not focused on prelims, even the newspaper as well as the PIB.
Okay.
Cloud is more than sufficient, I believe.
Okay. Next question is: how frequent was your revision with respect to GA for phase 1?
GA for phase 1. Okay, so I believe you need to do 8 to 9 revisions, as per me, because I mean, everybody has different kind of memory power, and so some people can say that it is 5 or 6, but I have an average memory power. So with that memory power, I believe I need to make 8 to 9 revisions.
Okay, so I think we are done with phase 1, but I would like to ask one more question. That you said that you attempted 15 mock tests. So, like,
Yes.
how did you analyze those mocks, and what were the findings, and how did you improve upon
that? When I took the mock test, there is test mock is very good, and Olipod is also very good. So they show you your weaknesses as well as strength. Okay, so and they also shows you the ranking. So I mean, where you are coming. So I tried to cover the topic in which I was weak. So I took that topic from any book on YouTube only. You can see the video as well. So I go to the concepts and I solve only 5 to 10 questions regarding that particular segment, and then again I go to the mock test. So wherever you are weak, you have to go to some other source and spend not more than 2 to 3 hours, because you cannot spend a lot of time on each and every topic, because in exam it is not relevant. In exam you have to pick some question which you are comfortable with and then solve it. This preparation is for the case where in topic which you are strong in topic, but they are very difficult in the exam. Sometimes it happens, because if suppose you are good with percentage, profit and loss, number system, but the questions asked in exam is very long and very long and very tough. So you cannot spend time on that. You have to strategize, and then you have to know something about each and every topic, even though not in very high concepts, but just simple concepts, so that you can tackle some 8 to 10 questions from there easily.
Okay, so thank you, Jayesh, for this, and I think now we should move on to phase 2 strategy, please.
Okay. I think Rohan have a question.
Yeah, Rohan, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, sir. Just sir, you said 8 to 9 times revision of for current affairs. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So daily, after making notes, it becomes huge. Means 30 for a month, 30 days of this. At least minimum 20, 25 notes becomes for current affairs, right? So how did you manage like reading it again and again? Like weekly you used to revise or daily you had some fixed time for revision?
So daily fixed time is not possible. I believe it is it is not that, I mean, simple to plan, because I dedicated one day in 1 week to revise it. Okay. So suppose a study PDF comes on 5th of every month, a Affairs Cloud PDF. So I took the printout, I study it completely in 1 day. So you cannot spend more than 1.5 day, okay, or maximum 2 days on 1 month of current affair of study PDF. Okay. So first it's Saturday, Sunday, you complete it for first time. Then second Saturday, Sunday, you have to give 1 day and revise it. Then third week you have to give 1 Saturday and revise it, or Sunday, whichever is your off day. If you are preparing only for RBI, not doing any job, then you can pick any day as per your comfort. But in the 1 month I had 3 revision and 1 first time read. So when next month came, I dedicated that 1 day. I took half a day, then revised it again for 2 to 3 times in that next month. So till the time phase 1 comes, and I was completed with 8 to 9 revision.
Okay,
So
sir.
I'm able to clear your doubt, or you have
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Please don't spend much, a week on Affairs Cloud, reading Affairs Cloud. Try to complete it in 2 days. Okay, I completed it every time in 1 day. I sat from morning 6 a.m. and completed it in maximum 10 to 12 hours. And next time it took me 6 hours, and then in the next revision it took me 3 hours, and then only 1.5 hours. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So try to study in that way.
Abhishek Tiwari, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Congratulations for your selection.
Thank you.
Sir, my question to you is, sir, regarding the ESI static portion. Sir,
Yes.
How did you cover? What was the extent to the coverage, and what were
Okay.
the sources?
So for ESI static,
I
would recommend only.
I would like to interrupt here. Abhishek, we will be discussing phase 2 just after phase 1, because we have 2 more queries related to phase 1. So it will be covered there.
Sir.
If you have any question related to phase 1, you can ask. Preeti, if your question is related to phase 1, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
So my question is regarding government schemes, so it can be asked after phase 2 also.
Okay, so Shivam, your question is also related to phase 2, so it can be covered later. Okay, so there is one more question related to phase 1 here. How much weeks or months before our phase 1 should we start giving mocks? Also, should one give mocks first and then learn the concepts, or the other way around?
Here there are 2 cases. First is if you have some kind of background in aptitude reasoning and English. For example, I had some background because I prepared for CAT. So if you had prepared for any other banking exam or a CAT exam or any exam like that, then you can actually start with the mocks, because you are through with the basic concepts. Okay, and if you are preparing from the scratch, you haven't prepared for any exam in which asks for aptitude reasoning English, then you have to start with simple topics. For example, DI, percentage, because first you have to cover the topics which are more relevant to the exam. Don't go for time and distance, because only 2 questions will come. percentage profit loss, and data interpretation are similar kind of topic, and there are 8 to 10 questions coming. There are 8 to 10 questions in every time in exam. So pick the topics which are having more weightage in the exam. See the pattern of last 2-3 years and start preparing 3 months, and invest 1 to 2 hours 3 months before the prelims, around 3 months. Okay, and if you have some background, then you can start when the notification come. You can pick one. You can go for one mock every 3 days. That would be sufficient for you.
Okay, so there is one last question related to phase 1 from Garima. What was your reason of not clearing prelims in the previous 3 attempts? I mean, did you miss sectional cutoff in any one subject, or did you miss overall cutoff?
I miss the overall cutoff every time. Sectional cutoff is, not a big issue when the paper is easy. First time I started preparing for RBI, and it was just 2 months. And in that 2 months, I started preparing for mains and prepared for mains only. So I just went to give prelims, and I was not able to clear it. Second time, I prepared for prelims, but for 15 to 20 days, and that too 5 to 6 mocks, and was not able to clear it because the cutoff was very high. Paper was very easy, and my preparation was not up to the level where I can tackle a tough as well as an easy paper. So you have to be prepared to strategize in the exam, and for that you have to practice mocks again and again, because mocks will give you an easy mock, then give you a tough mock. So you have to you will learn how to strategize when the paper comes in front of you. And in the third attempt also, I prepared. I again make the same mistake. I prepared for mock. I prepared for mock, but not more than 5 to 6 mocks. And this was because I was also, busy with my office work. There was some event was going on in our office, and I was busy with that, and I was not able to prepare properly. But yes, overall, you can say that prelims is the toughest exam in RBI, I believe that.
Okay, so let us move to phase 2 strategy now.
Okay. So in phase 2, there are 2 types of questions come in: descriptive and objective. So if we talk about economic and social issues, then there are 3 to, first is you have to cover the current affairs of 10 to 12 months. Before that, current affairs can also come. I like in the current RBI in this year, RBI asked the question of 2020 human capital report of something like that of World Bank, which was of 2020 and asked in 2022. So don't go for each and every question which have been asked in the last exam, and do not think that you can cover 18 to 20 months or 24 months current affairs, because you will not be able to remember. So what I did was I prepared for 12 months. Current 8 months, I prepared 10th, 11th, 12th. These 4 months I covered only very important news. I thought I would select only for 12 to 15 news, and that I would be covering for mains, including report and, because the last 6 to 8 months are really very important. So you have to cover many news. But before that, I covered only 10 to 12, 12 to 15, sometimes 10, sometimes 12 from each and every month. Current affairs from Affairs Cloud. Apart from that, PIB, 6 months PIB is more than enough, I believe. And I make notes from the links which have been shared by Agil sir only. I did not refer to any other source of PIB and any other coaching material, anything. Apart from that, newspaper is very important, I believe. Newspaper, you have to read newspaper every day, whatever is the condition. That is a must, because Newspaper gives you idea which news is important. So when you study your current affair from the PDF, then you are you are well aware that this news was frequently discussed in the newspaper. So this is important, because many a times you will skip the news thinking that this might not be that important on the FS Cloud or any other source. But that newspaper will give you a scenario of what is important and what is not important. So for current affairs, affairs club, PIB, and newspaper, that is more than enough. I never, preferred any other source. So this is about current affairs. Now, if we talk about schemes, scheme is a very important part of our ESI exam. So for the scheme, I went through many coaching notes. That EduTab is there, iExamB is there, but I prepared from Crack Grade B because they provide the most comprehensive and important notes, because EduTab will give you a lot of notes which you won't be able to cover. And iExamB is not that comprehensive, I believe. So I prepared for Crack Grade B schemes notes for RBI. Apart from that, ESI and budget is important. So economic and social, economic survey of India, economic survey of India. I took the summary of Vision IS, which is open and free. You can take from there. And budget, original document comes every year. So you have to read the original document. So these three are, so we have covered, we have talked about current affairs, ESI and budget, and schemes. And the last one is ESI static. So the static topic I covered from the notes of Crack Grade B only. So no other source. And before that, if you are preparing from starting, then you have to read a book, which I would refer you. It was referred to me by Atul sir, Ramesh Singh on Indian economy. That is very important and very good book. You will get a good understanding from that book. So for static ESI, only two sources. First is Ramesh Singh, and the Crack Grade B notes, only two. So this was for ESI objective. So if you have any doubt, you can ask questions right now. Then I will talk about descriptive.
Okay, so Preeti, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Congrats.
Hello, thank you.
Sir, you said that you referred to Crack Grade B notes for schemes, right?
Yes, yes.
So you didn't made any notes by yourself, like month-wise or ministry-wise?
No, never. The notes are given in ministry-wise only. The notes are given like ministry-wise from the Crack Grade B itself. So you can do it from there only, because schemes are asked in detail in an exam. You cannot make notes because they'll ask any kind of data from the scheme. So Crack Grade B gives a good amount of data and good amount of understanding about one scheme. If you start writing it, then you will be able to write on one scheme in half an hour. So note making, I believe, is not a good idea for preparation of scheme. For that, if you have time, then you can revise it again and again. That is the only way you can remember it. You will be able to remember in the exam. You have to give a lot of revisions.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I think Shivam, your query is also answered. He was also asking something about schemes. Okay, Abhishek Tiwari, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Sir, regarding the management portion, I would like to ask you, what were your sources for management and how did you approach management? Sir, did you write, how about the definition part? When we study about a topic, if it's planning, okay. Definition, characteristics, processes, and its application part. Sir, what was your approach? Because what I've observed while studying management, things revolve around basically these topics. How was your approach in your sources, sir? This is what I want to ask.
Abhishek, we are talking about ESI now, but it's okay. I'll answer this question. I preferred a source. I preferred a book named L.M. Prasad. He is an Indian writer and he wrote a management book. This was for objective. And there are some topics which RBI included recently, last 2-3 years, which are not covered in L.M. Prasad. So I refer to any open source. I mean, you can go to any. You can. I go to Google and just I type the topic and I get a note from any source, any book. I download it and I print it and then start preparing for it. So this was for objective. Now, if we talk about management descriptive, then for the descriptive, I followed the channel of Atul sir, and every day a question of a topic, a question regarding a topic. He posts every day one question. Okay, so I make notes.
Just a second. Sorry to interrupt, Jayesh. Sorry to interrupt. After 30 or 40 seconds, the link will be like the time limit will be over. So everyone is requested to rejoin the link if the session ends abruptly. Please go on.
Okay. So Abhishek, I would suggest this. I have told you about the objective part. We'll discuss the descriptive part later because the descriptive part.
Please go on.
So I was telling that I referred to L.M. Prasad as well as the topics from open source from Google. From any open source. If we talk about descriptive, then we'll discuss this descriptive in detail for ESI as well as finance as well as management.
I would suggest that you can share a strategy for like phase 2 holistically for all the sections, and then people can ask questions.
Okay, so we talked about ESI descriptive. Now we'll talk about finance and management ESI objective, and now we'll talk about finance and management objective. So I prepared from Affairs Cloud only for financial news which are related to finance. So there is a section of banking and finance from where RBI news are very important. NABARD, the regulatory body news are very important. It was related to current affairs of finance. Apart from that, static finance I prepared from the Crack Grade B only, one source only. So, and for management, I prepared for L.M. Prasad. I prepared from L.M. Prasad, and the topic which was not covered in L.M. Prasad, I studied from open source. So you can prefer any source based on the topic itself. But the thing is, you have to go to 2 to 3 sources and look. Source is comprehensive, then you can go, refer to that source. So these were the descriptive part. Apart from that, if we talk about English, so this is the section which many candidates ignore, and this is very important. And this is a scoring section. If you give a time of 30 hours in the whole preparation to English, then you can easily get 10 to 15 marks extra. But even if you give 30 or even 60 hours to ESI, it is not, I mean, sure that you can gain even 2 marks also, because the ESI is very tricky and many types of questions come in the ESI. So always try to prepare for English also. Sorry, for English, I followed the Atul sir's channel and I prepared for, I mean, holistically, if we talk about, I prepared only I prepared in a way that only 5, I took only 5 tests, something like that. So I did not take any test for any coaching or any mock test. Test is a self-regulated test. So I talked to Atul sir. He gave me one comprehension from that 5 questions, and from that personally I talked to Atul sir for this. You can talk to anyone. It is not like you can. I mean, you can talk to anyone who has some understanding about the RBI exam. So he will give you a Prezi he will give you a comprehension, and he will give you topics of essay. You just take the test, self-regulate it for 1.5 hour and give it to the person who gave you the test, and just assess it and get it back, and then make improvements. And then again, after 1 week, one test is more than sufficient. I took in 2 months, I took 5 tests only. So this was for English. Now we can talk about descriptive ESI in finance and management. For that, I did not prepare anything. I prepared from the from the platform of We Learn Here only from Atul sir. Every day Atul sir posts one question. So what I did is that question, that topic, I go to the Google, I just search for notes. I refer to 2 to 3 sources, 2 to 3 article or sources, and then make notes in 2 to 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages, depending upon a topic. If it is a small topic, then you can make it in 1 page only. If the topic is big, for example, if we are talking about poverty, it is a big topic, then you can make more notes. So I prepared like 4 pages for poverty, and it covered everything. So I dedicated 1.5 hours for every topic for writing, just for writing, and half an hour for study. And then I simply typed it. Whatever I have studied, I typed it in 600, 800, 1000 word, no matter how much words are there. Just I typed it. So that gave me an understanding that okay, how this will give understanding how to write the questions. So this was similar for finance, management, and ESI also. Whenever topic comes, I go to the open source, I go to the source which I have studied earlier, I make notes in short notes, bullet points, some 1 or 2 definition regarding a topic, and then I study it and then I write it every day. So this will take you around, take your time of 2.5 hours. So if you do it for, I mean, 2 to 3 months, then you are through with the descriptive part. So this was my overall strategy.
Okay.
Now you can ask questions.
So if anyone wants to ask any question, please raise your hand. Till then, Preeti has asked like if you could repeat what sources did you tell about English descriptive?
English descriptive. I mean the English part. Okay, I referred to. I mean there is no source for preparing for essay or Pressy, or there is no single source you can prepare from anywhere. Essay writing is just a matter of practice, because you have a lot of knowledge in your mind, but you are not able to deliver it because you haven't practiced it in writing. So it is just about writing. Just go to any YouTube channel or any channel. They will give you some tips about how to write an essay and how to write a Pressy and how to write a how to attempt a comprehension. Just make notes. Remember that note. Okay, after remembering it, go straight to the topic and start writing the answer. And you will not be able to write first essay even in 1 hour. If you have not done any writing practice, then it will take 1 hour. But don't worry about that. You might be able to write a Pressy in more than half an hour, but it's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, so it was not a platform where I gave any test. It was self-regulated test. I took questions from somebody whom I know. In this case, I know Adul sir, and I took questions from him. He took an article from newspaper and gave 5 questions from it. And I started writing a Pressy and as well as question and answer. And he gave me 4 topics of essay, and I choose one out of it and start writing it. That is the practice. For essay, you don't have to write anything, or you don't have to remember any concepts, because ESI and finance will cover your ESI and finance descriptive will cover your knowledge for essay. Okay, will give you knowledge for writing essay.
Okay. So Kumar Singh, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, hi sir.
Hello.
Sir, I want to ask that in the exam sometimes we see that kind of I can say that these kind of vague questions, I can say that renewable energy and peace cannot be achieved in blockchain technology. So how did you manage these kind of questions in the descriptive exams? Because these kind of questions just play with your state of mind at that point.
Okay, so I would like to strongly suggest that do not worry about the questions in exam, because there always will be one or two questions which are very specific. Okay, so you won't have, you cannot cover all the topics in advance. You have to attempt that apart in 4 questions. You have to attempt the 3 questions which are of general nature, and every time it will be like that. So 2 to 3 questions will be of general nature, and next one question, for example, you said about blockchain technology. It came this year. Okay. Apart from that, all the 3 questions were of general nature, for which are directly related to the syllabus. For example, global financial crisis. The question came. It is directly mentioned in your syllabus. So you cannot tackle all the questions in advance. So if the question is of some knowledge to you, you will be able to 200 to 300 words at that time. But for that, you have to complete your 3 questions within the stipulated time. So first cover the syllabus, then you can look for extra topics and knowledge. So I went through the fodder material given by many coachings, but that material is of no use because they are long answers, and that is a lot of data you won't be able to remember. They also provide very specific question just to say that every question came from our course, but you will not be able to cover all that, and ultimately you will be demotivated seeing that much of questions, that much of syllabus, and you won't be able to remember it. So I'll also share my notes. I'll also share PDF of my notes which I prepared, which are very, very crisp and of general nature, not very technical or not, not big notes. For poverty, I made a note of 4 pages. So all aspects of poverty were covered in that. Okay. For suppose urbanization, migration, I made a note of only 2 pages. So because in descriptive you have that power that you can write anything and you can relate to anything which you know. So for that you don't have to go to any long notes and long concepts. So I hope I have answered your query.
Yes, sir.
For
One
now.
more question. You said
Yes.
about that you made notes on poverty and urbanization migration. So in those notes, you maintained the facts, figures, that related notes. What is the latest facts? What the government are doing, and these kind of things, latest reports, any kind of. So you can write those things.
First thing is I would suggest that don't go for very specific data. There are some general data which are more than sufficient. For example, if you are talking about urbanization, then you can simply say that according to the census, this much percentage of people are living in urban areas for now, and it is bound to increase but it is bound to increase in the coming years. That much is sufficient. You don't have to remember that according to that report of World Bank, they are saying that our population will be doubled in this year. So don't go for that much specific of data because you won't be able to remember it and you won't be able to deliver it. Focus on simple data and focus on writing it. So okay. So
Okay,
if I'm talking about poverty, then there are few important topics for which you have to know some definition. So I remembered the definition of World Bank and poverty line estimates, which are very important. So you should know about that, but you do not have to remember any recent data which are mentioned in any report on poverty, because they are not that. You need to just remember the government data. Either it is census or any government agency has released important data recently. There are many reports, many organizations which release their own statistics, which release their own data. You don't have to rely on that.
Okay, sir. And sir, one more last question. I
Yes.
have almost covered management and I'm going to start the finance part. So
Okay.
I'm trying to cover the finance part by going through line by line of the syllabus. whatever written in the syllabus, I'm searching it on Google and YouTube and making notes from it. So is this the right strategy for finance? Because I've looked
Yeah,
at the
this was
coaching
the
material and
strategy
coaching videos. PDF. They were very long,
Sorry?
and I have looked at the coaching material and PDFs, but they were very long and broad. So I thought I should do it by myself.
Yeah, that is the only good strategy, which I mean, which helped in clearing the exam. I made notes on from open source, and like you have a source of Drashti IAS, and many IAS coachings are there which provide simple data and simple understanding of the knowledge. So don't write much. Don't go to the coaching notes. They provide a long answers and very specific data, which is not required. Okay. So this is the good strategy. You just go pick the topic from the syllabus, go to the internet, make 2 to 3 page a note and type it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank
So
you,
this
sir.
I prepared from this strategy only for each and every topic,
Okay.
even not only
So they deviate,
finance.
I think they deviate a lot from the syllabus to make their material look long and
Yes,
broad and
yes,
comprehensive.
yes. Because one day they will say that everything came from our document, but we don't need that. I mean, we will not be able to cover it. So it is of no use for us.
Okay, sir. Thank you very
Only
much.
your notes you will be able to remember it. If there are your
Yes,
notes,
sir.
you will
Yes.
be able to remember it and you will be able to deliver it also.
Yes, sir. So that's why I've shifted to handmade notes.
Yes. For descriptive, that is the only way out for students like me. I'm not saying that anybody can't clear without making notes, because there can be intelligent people, there can be very good people, very good people who have good knowledge of English, good knowledge of economy, social. But for me, this was a strategy because I believe I am an average student who need to put a lot of effort, and then I'll be able, and a lot of I put a lot of stress, I put a lot of effort, and then only I was able to clear it. So I believe everybody has a different strategy, because everybody level of preparation, level of understanding is different. But for an average student, note making is very important, unless you won't be able to remember it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Okay,
no problem.
I would like to add, talking about data of so many organizations, you will find, I think there are 500 organizations who are who are publishing some reports on poverty. Niti Aayog on daily basis publishing, some one or the other report, which will they'll just put on some data. So you don't need to read all those data and no retain that data. So only some important data by some government agency. So that would be it. So next, okay, Samarth, please ask your question.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Jayesh. First of all, congratulations for cracking the covetous exam of RBI Grade B.
Yeah, thank you, Samarth.
So, Jayesh, I have a similar profile as yours. So, I'm an MBA in finance from KJ Sumaya. And I've been working now in HCL since the past 1 odd year, and I have a previous experience of 2 years in the same IT domain. So first of all, I apologize if this has been covered earlier in the session, because I've joined just a few minutes back. So please feel free to move to the next participant if this has already been answered. So just the thing is, I mean, I think you must have also faced this at some point in your preparation. So whenever I start to study, I feel that I'm not doing justice to the work. I mean, my office work. And whenever I'm doing the office work, I feel that I'm not devoting my complete, time and energy for the preparation. So this dilemma of mine has been continuing for the past 2 years. So this year also I gave the RBI Gr B exam, and last year I had for the NABARD exam. So in both of these times, I felt that I was lacking in practice. And I can say that I almost saw 90% of the question which were there in the exam. But, just seeing the question, I mean, just feeling that, yeah, I have read it somewhere, but not able to reproduce it in the exam is the one kind of thing which I have faced. So I just wanted to know, how did you manage this while you were preparing for the exam? And secondly, how did you manage to rote learn the facts for prelims? Because I'm seeing that a lot of factual questions are being asked in these exams, which were not asked in like the exams you have given, CAT, ZAT, and all the management entrance examinations. So it's a different ball game altogether compared to this exam. So how did you manage your preparation with your work? And secondly, how did you manage to rote learn all these hard facts? So these are the two questions that I have, Jayesh.
So Samarth, your question is, I mean, very good. I believe that when you do two things at the same time, you always face the dilemma that I am not doing justice to any one of it. So it is very common for everyone. So first you have to decide it whether you are you have to decide it that you want to clear an RBI exam. So dedicate your first you have to make up your mind clearly that I want to go there. Okay, so
Absolutely.
once you made your mind very clear, then you have to go for it. It is just like I like watching Netflix, but I also like playing sports. Okay, so when I watch Netflix, I think I should do some physical activity, and when I go to sports, I think I should watch I should watch a series. So you have to give preference based on your requirement, which is good for you and which will be better for you in the future. If your current job is good and if you are facing a dilemma that RBI would not be that much great, then I believe you should stop preparing for RBI. But if you think that your job RBI would be a better place, then you have to sacrifice something to become an RBI Grade B officer. Okay, so even if you feel that you are doing some injustice to the current job, then you have to swallow it and think of the future that okay, I am doing this to make my life better in the coming time. So I never studied in the office. Okay, so I believe that you can dedicate your time for RBI from the home itself. So I woke up every day at 4:30 a.m. Okay, so if you are talking about time, in your office timing you have to do your job, but after that or before that you are at home. So at that time you do not have any obligation to your office. In that sense, you have a sense of that when you prepare in your free time. Okay.
Yes.
So I woke up. I'll just tell you my schedule. That would give you an idea.
Yes.
So I woke up every day 4:30 a.m. I started studying from 5. Started studying from 5 o'clock. Then I studied till 9 o'clock. Okay, 4 hours. And after that, I get ready and go to the office. And at 7 o'clock, I came back. I come back. After that, I took 1 hour break. I do my simply I sit or simply I lie for half an hour to get my strength, and then I start preparing from 8 o'clock to 10:30. And in that you will also have your dinner half an hour. So in evening you will get maximum 2 hours, and in the morning I had 4 hours. So that was my schedule for the day on which I had office. And apart from that, if it is Saturday Sunday, then I prepared for 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours, something like that. So you need to manage in your free time, then you won't be facing the dilemma that you are doing injustice to your job, because you have obligation when you are in office.
Correct.
So, and if in the your second question about how to remember the data. So, see, the thing is, you won't be able to remember. Yes. You can't be sure any time that you remember each and every data. The key is here revision. So you have to increase if you have not a good memory power, because in management management is all about learning. It's not about cramming or remembering. So
absolutely, yeah, it's applying the concepts rather than cramming who said what that thing.
So here the thing is, you have to do a lot of revision. So when you revise it again and again, you just make a concept in your mind that okay, I studied about this, and I have this. So when you revise it again and again, so at that time when question comes in front of you, you will be able to remember it. But you cannot never be sure that I have remembered it. Okay, so if you are, I mean, not good with that much in remembering, you have to increase your number of revisions. For example, I said that I know many people who have completed each and every topic in 5 to 6 revision, but it took me 9 to 10, 8 to 9, or sometime 9 to 10 revisions for some topics. Okay, so if you are not able to remember it, then you should increase your number of revisions and time put in.
Okay,
So
okay, Jayesh, that's a valid suggestion.
okay, so I hope and how you would assess that you are not remembering it, you have to give mock test.
Mock test.
When you give
Correct.
mock test, there are 80 questions are there. You know that you have read it, but you are not able to recollect it. Then you again have to go to the revision. Okay. So
Absolutely.
after 7 to 8 mocks, you will know if you are, I mean, you are at the same stage, or if, or from the first mock you have 4 revisions till your 8th mock, and now you are able to recollect more questions.
Okay, okay, Jayesh. Yeah.
So only
Thanks a lot,
assessment
Jayesh,
thing
for
is
sharing
mock.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, the timetable that you shared, I mean, it's something which will take a lot of practice, first of all,
Yeah.
to, start getting up at 4.
Yeah.
Because you know how we people are. I mean, we finish our work very late at night, and then we start binge watching something, or even when we're learning. So it takes a lot of time, and then we feel कि चलो ये भी time pass करते हो. So that time pass thing, I think I will have to curb. And I think most of it stems from the fact that people, I mean, your peers, you would have seen them, that I mean, the people who are not, preparing for any exams, they are enjoying their lifestyle. They're going outside, they're going for tours and travels, and then there you are sitting and cramming all the stuff. So that was also one of the factors that I have dealt with in the last year. So a lot of my friends were going for vacations, and they were mocking me कि तो अभी बैठ के RBI exam दे रहा है, पहले CAT दिया था, कब तक पढ़ते रहेगा. So that's also one of the biggest challenge that one working aspirant has to overcome. That's also I feel.
So the first thing is, I would like to mention that I do not use any social media website because I do not like it at all. Even if I have cleared the RBI exam, I am not going for Facebook or Instagram because I don't like it. Okay. So I even do not watch WhatsApp status of anybody. I mute it. I just open a status of 3 to 4 people whom I think whose status I think is very important for me, and I learn something from there. Then only I watch the status. Otherwise, I don't know. And I have no interest in it. You might having an interest in it. It is not a bad thing. You just have to manage your time. You can give half an hour or for your social media activities, but you have to stick to that. That I'll give just half an hour. Yeah.
That's very well. Thanks a lot for the suggestions, Jayesh. And again, congratulations on starting a new phase in your life. And I hope you have fruitful association with RBI.
Yeah, sure. I hope to. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, Rohan Kadam.
Hi, sir. I wanted to note regarding the syllabus. Okay, seen like management syllabus. There are motivation theories that RBI has specifically mentioned. Motivation theories, this. But in coaching materials, they have given n number of theories. So, with your as per your experience, what do you suggest? Like, should we go for extra theories also, or stick to perfectly what is given in the syllabus?
Rohan, what I did is I stick to the syllabus only. I read theories which are specifically mentioned in the syllabus itself. I never studied any other topic which is looking for extra. I mean, which has been given extra in any coaching material. I never prepared for it. I just prepared for motivation theories or the leadership theories which are given directly in the syllabus itself. So you have to believe in syllabus, because if you do not believe in syllabus, then there is no end to it. Every topic will have something to add. Every topic will have something extra to add in that. Okay. And that is the thing. Now, coaching material provides a lot of things, so that they can always say that anything came from in the exam is from our syllabus. But that will defeat the purpose of studying. You won't be able to study.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You have limited time. You have to manage it. So first, you have to be completely ready with the syllabus. If you feel that I am ready with the syllabus, and I am through with the motivation theories, and I can attempt any question on these motivation theories, and I have time and I want to read extra, then you can go for it. But in my case, I did not have extra time, as I am with the job. I was doing the job as well as I was preparing for the RBI. So I stick to the syllabus itself. There can be questions. Always there will be 2 to 4 questions or 5 questions, even 8 questions in exam, which you feel that this is out of syllabus. But you have to study the questions which are in the syllabus. You have to attempt the questions correctly which are in the syllabus. Okay. It is not about tackling all the questions. It is about tackling the sufficient number or ideal number of questions in the exam.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Because in management, if the theories on motivation comes, the question is not about theory. It is just it will talk about concept. It will talk about practical. It will give a practical situation and then ask that which motivation theories apply best over here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the questions are not direct in the finance part. No, management part. Sorry. So
Yes,
they
sir.
last question from the top syllabus, they only gave, but that are in tricky tricky way.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay. Martian, please ask.
Okay, sir. See, sir, I fear that if I clear phase 1 and phase 2, like it is thinking a lot. But sir, if we clear that part, and I fear that in going in interview, and that now itself from last previous year also and this year also, it has been most important. Like if they don't want to select you, they can give you so less marks that we will not make it in the final list. So sir, I'm afraid how to tackle the interview, like if we can do anything even now or in before the notification, like all such scenarios, or what else, like sir, what else should we do for the interviews specifically, just to be sure that if like sir, we get enough marks in that to get in the final list.
Okay. So here the thing is, in India, and I believe that every interview is like that. If they like it, they will give you more marks. If they don't like you, they will give you less marks. So I know many people who have cleared the UPSC mains but were not able to clear the UPSC interview for 3 years consecutively. So it is just about going in the interview. So you cannot always believe that they will they will just not like you and give you less marks. You have to try them. You have to try yourself so that they like you. That is the essence of the interview. You do not think as if they are just sitting there to reject you. You have
No,
to
like here, sir, I think one thing is the personality and second thing is the knowledge, sir. So I want
okay.
to like understand that I like, for what I believe, that sometimes I think of negative things more. So in that I can be more positive, and the personality thing can be better. And like sir, knowledge for phase 2 I will study. So believe that knowledge will be okay, or I can improve that without doing anything else. So in the sense of personality, sir, also you can tell anything.
So the only thing is to tackle the personality. Issue is that you have to give mock test for the mock interviews. That is the thing. And if you first thing first, remove the doubt that they are they are sitting there to reject, and you do not have that personality, because it doesn't matter. I felt that my interview was not that good, and still I got 62 marks. So you never know on what basis they are judging. They asked me
Okay, sir.
16 questions regarding knowledge. I answered 15 out of that. Only one question I was not able to answer. That was totally based on my profile based knowledge. Okay, not just any knowledge. They asked that questions from my profile, but it was of knowledge oriented, not HR oriented. They asked me 7 to 8 questions of HR oriented, in which I fumbled and I was not able to answer that questions properly. So I thought that they will think that he doesn't know the basic HR questions. Why should we select him? Knowledge can be, I mean, anybody can get, anybody. Many people have knowledge like that. So I thought that I won't be able to clear it because my interview was like this. So you don't know on what basis they are judging you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you are talking about talking point of view, if you're talking about your personality aspects like hand coordination and talking, so you can choose any language. Even mixed language works. You just have to convince them. It is not about language. So language barrier is there. You can give your interview in Hindi, and in Hindi you can use English words. It's not like that you can just you have to give full interview in Hindi. So language is not the barrier over there. The presentation is the thing. But for the presentation you have to give mock interviews, and for that you don't have to prepare from the start. They will, I mean, you just have, after the mains you should prepare for interview, I believe, because there is no point in wasting time in interview now if you are not able to clear prelims and mains.
No, sir. I get it. I understand.
So I hope I answered your query, and if you have,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, further doubt, then you can ask.
No, sir. I understand. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so there are a few more queries. How did you retain the news from newspaper? Did you make any notes or anything else?
So for notes, I'll say that I did not make any notes from newspaper. Just few important topics. I mean, you if you read the syllabus completely and if you remember the syllabus completely, then there are some articles or there are some important news which are covered. I mean, which are coming frequently in the newspaper. And when you everyday read Affairs Cloud and the PIB, then you will know that this news was not covered in Affairs Cloud or in PIB. So do not just go on making random notes because it will consume a lot of time. You just have to read it. And every day I selected only one or two topics. So make a habit that I will just make notes of one topic or two topic, one article or two article. That too in very short note. I made only 4 to 5 bullet points every day, not more than that. So you can only give 5 minutes for one topic, not more than that for in writing. You just read it and just mark the important data if this data is important. So 2 to 3 to 4 data. What mistake people make, or what mistake I in my earlier attempts, that I started making notes from the newspaper and started writing each and every data that I thought that this is also important, this is also important. And that demotivated me after some time, and I stopped making notes. That will happen if you give a lot of time and you find that, oh, I'm losing a lot of time, and then you totally stop making it. So I made it only 1 to 2 topic every day. If I feel one topic is important, then only I made notes of one topic. If I feel there are 2 articles are important, very important, then I made only 2 articles are very important. So even if you do not want to make notes paper, it is absolutely fine, because you do not, I mean, you cannot remember everything. There will be questions in the paper which you will not be able to answer. So always keep that in mind. Affairs Cloud and PIP will be more than enough if you are not making notes from newspaper. Okay, no problem. You just have to read newspaper, because you will create an ecosystem of news in your mind, and that is very important for answering the questions.
Okay. So there's one more question. How did you cover Affairs Cloud?
That for that I already told that I will share the PDF, because I will not be able to communicate it properly that how did I cover the Affairs Cloud. First, I kept the syllabus on my table all the time and started mark. I in the first read I mark the Affairs Cloud with pen. I mark the important points. Okay. Suppose if there is a summit or any conference, I'll just give you an example, but later I'll share the PDF. If there are any summits and conference, so if it is in any state or it is the topic is not directly related to economy or finance or environment, so I skip that summit and conference totally because it is not important. I believe that is not important. What is important is where it was held for prelims or what was the theme. So thus these two topics are important. So suppose there is an international visit. So visits of presidents are not important. Visits of external affairs ministers are not important. Visits of any other ministry is not important. Visits of prime minister is important. And if he is laying foundation stone of many projects, how I read affairs cloud. So for mains there are sections which you don't have to read. For example, after reports and indices, you don't have to read any section for the mains. It will just about environment and technology and apps. I think applications and portal, some section is there. So there would be only one to two important news, more not than that. So there are sections which you can avoid, but I will not be able to explain it in detail, and I would not be able to communicate it properly. Because you will not be able to understand it unless you have some visuals in front of you. So I'll share a PDF. I'll make a PDF on how much news I have covered for mains and for prelims, or how much news I have covered for prelims. I'll share separate two PDFs for mains as well as prelims. So that would be helpful in understanding how I read a FS Cloud.
Okay, so there is one more question from Shivam. How did you cover the report and indices for phase 2? Did you rely on some compilation, and did all the reports the compilation had, or relied on the newspaper to sort out important reports? I mean, if poverty is in syllabus, there are several reports and indices from several situations. So how did you go about it?
You cannot rely on reports from on the basis of news, because news do not cover each and every report even if it is released by Niti Aayog, even if it is released by Ministry of Rural Development or any other ministry or any other government agency or international agency. So for the reports, I relied on the previous year questions paper. So first thing first, you need to know what kind of questions came in the last 2 to 3 years. So you will get some PDF from any open source or any coaching source. So the important reports are from Niti Aayog, but nowadays Niti Aayog releases a lot of reports. So you have to stick that Niti Aayog, you have to place that Niti Aayog report into an topic which has been given in the ESI. If it is linking to it, then you have to read it. If it is not linked to it, then you don't have to read it. Second is a report released by any particular government agency, for example, ministry or PM's advisory council or any agency like that. So these reports are important if they are directly linked to topic, if they are directly linked to your syllabus. So syllabus is the key here, and previous year questions are syllabus and the previous year question are two important keys here. You have to keep that in mind. For example, and you will see a lot of report from UNICEF and UNESCO and UNDP and lot of report. You don't have to read a lot of report until it is focusing on India. Okay. If the report is new, I mean this is a first release, and if it is giving an important data on India, then you can read it. Otherwise, if it is not giving any data on India, then you don't have to read it. Even if it is giving data on Asia Pacific, Asian continent, then you don't have to read it. Just if it is giving a detailed data about India, then you need to read it. And there are reports in which world data about world is there and data about India is there. So you can skip the world data from there directly. You need to study about Indian data only. So for that also, I'll share the affairs cloud. You will get an idea that how I covered the reports and indices, because lot of indices are not, affairs cloud will give you a lot of indices, but which are not important. For example, passport index is not important, and many times higher education ranking, these kind of reports are not important. Niti Aayog indexes are very important, and Ministry of Commerce and Industry index, for example, Leads index, Ease index, the Indian index are very important, and few very important indexes of world agencies, for example, multidimensional poverty index, but they have to talk about India. Okay, remember it in that index. If the index is not related to it's not providing any data on India, then you can skip it directly.
Okay. So next, Jatin is asking how to tackle FOMO, fear of missing out.
Sorry, can you elaborate on your question?
Like fear of missing out, people join n number of Telegram channels that they would be making some recipe in there, and I am missing out something. So that's something he's asking of.
So there is a punchline which I thought of earlier, and I will give you here. Only you know your struggle, and only you know your situation. Nobody else knows it. So fear of missing out is totally irrelevant in this situation. You just have to plan and strategize your study and your syllabus according to your timing and according to your strengths, and try to cover that in the time which you have planned for it. If you will join lot of group, if you will join lot of sources, if you will join talk to a lot of people, then your strategy will never be single one, and you will not be able to make your strategy, and you will not be able to complete your strategy even if you make it, because people will talk about different things. Many people will talk about different things, and you will get distracted from it. For example, if you are in a group and they are talking about some topic, and you don't know anything about it, and they are talking it like it is a general knowledge, it is very basic for an RBI aspirant, so you will be demotivated. Okay, I am not preparing anything, I don't know anything, people know this much. So rely on your strategy, rely on your strength, and rely on mock test. For mains also, you can give I took mock test, so that I would be able to know that I am remembering it, I am going to my strategy according to my strategy or not, just for that. Okay, because mains mock tests are not up to the level of mains of RBI exam. They are not able to match up to the level of RBI exam. The RBI exam is very different from the mock which are being taken by coachings. But I took some coachings mocks, some mocks, 5 to 10 mocks, so that I know that if I have studied this index and I am remembering that I am remembering it or not. So I need more revision or not. That is for that only. Do not get influenced from others' preparation, because everybody has a different kind of mindset, different kind of strategy, different kind of situations. Everybody will talk about success, but we are also here to talk about failure, as I failed 3 times straight due to lack of strategizing only. It was not like I was not studying properly, or I don't know about exam, but that was because I was not strategizing properly. Jumping from strategy to strategy, because people are giving different strategy. That is why.
Okay. So next question is study PDF or pocket PDF. So you have already told about it that study PDF is
Pocket PDF is not enough. You don't have to rely. You please don't rely on pocket PDF.
Which newspaper did you follow?
I followed Business Standard only. That one newspaper is more than sufficient.
Okay. Then where to practice phase 2 MCQs? Like, as the level of questions are not up to that level.
You won't be able to practice up to the level of RBI's exam. You just will be able to assess your preparation based on the mock test. For that, you can take any mock test. Olive board is good, practice mock is good. I relied on these two only. Never took any other coaching's mock test. They will be able to help you in terms of assessment, like whether you have done sufficient revisions or not, whether you have covered this topic in the required details or not.
Okay. Geeta, please ask your question.
Thank you, Atul sir, for this platform, and congratulations, Jayesh sir, on your success.
Thank you, Geeta.
Thank you. And I recently started my preparation, and I'm done with 80% of management. So I started giving answers for the questions which Atul sir puts on the group. I generally use word counter and I type it over there, sir. But while doing that, the doubt I got is, will it actually show in the exam? Will it show me the number of words I'm using, or should I have to keep counting or have an estimate of it? How do I do that?
No, there is a counter in the exam that will tell you how much words you are talking, how much words you have typed till now.
Okay, even for Pressy writing, sir, in English? Okay, does it work even for Pressy writing as well? Like,
yes. Each and every question in English, even in Pressy writing, comprehension, essay, and question answer as well.
Okay, sir. And if the word limit is 600 words for a particular question, is it necessary to put up more than 550 or something like that? Is there any estimate?
So, Geeta, the ideal situation is that you should be able to write 1900 to 2000 words. This is the ideal situation. Okay. But what I felt is that I would like to add that I cleared the NABARD Grade B mains, but I was not able to clear the interview in the NABARD Grade B last year. Okay. So what I felt that right, I was not able to cover 2000 words anytime in this RBI also and in the last NABARD also, but I cleared the mains in both the exam. So when what I came to know that when there are direct questions related to your syllabus, so you will be able to write it in short span of time. Okay. This year RBI asked many questions which are of not on direct questions, but are on critical analysis kind of question.
Okay.
Okay. For example, there was a question that rural enterprises are empowering, how rural enterprises are making effects. I mean, improving socio-economic status of the rural people. Okay. So this question is not a direct question, which is related to the syllabus. So if you have to think it again and again, and you have to write it, it will consume a lot of time. So the point is, I wrote 16 to 1700 words in each and every section. Okay. In ESI as well as in finance also, I was able to write 1700 words.
Okay, sir. Okay. And sir, is it important to put statistical data in our answers?
No, not. I mean, general data would be sufficient. For example, you know how much people are in rural area. So if you are dividing rural and urban, then you just write simple data. So data is not about numbers. Data is also about knowledge. So data means it can be I mean, qualitative data.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And
so,
like you said,
I'll give you one example.
Yes, sir.
For example, Indian agriculture is can be characterized by small land holdings and fragmented land holdings. So this is a data.
Yes,
get it? This is a generalistic data, but it is qualitative data. So this is also data. It is not about just stats.
Okay, sir. Okay. And as you said, suppose there is an opinion-based question asked. How should we go forward, sir? Either in descriptive writing or in interview. If they're asking your opinion about something, should we be totally optimistic, or should we actually paint the real picture which is there?
So what strategy I adopted was that if it is an opinion-based data, then you have to have then if you have factual information, some factual or technical knowledge about the data, then you have to put in a few words about that. Then you have to discuss all the positive as well as negative aspects also. It is not about positive only.
Okay, sir, is it in the interview also? Suppose then there is an opinion-based question. Would you say the negatives as well? Okay.
Yes, they asked me of questions that even after 75 years of independence, why we are not able to, why we are also talking about financial inclusion. Till now, we are talking about financial inclusion.
Okay.
So this can, so you have to provide the problems also, and as well as in the, but remember in the descriptive writing, in the last, I mean, when you are concluding it, you have to provide a positive picture. For example, even if these problems are there, the government of India is trying this much and have launched this much of schemes, and a better approach and a targeted approach is required, which will be very helpful in achieving this goal. So that should end on positive note, I believe. It should not be critical.
Okay, sir. And
You should
finally,
not
how do we?
be,
Sorry, sir.
you should
Please
not be
repeat.
critical about the government's initiative. You should be able to provide the problems in the initiative. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. And finally, sir, how do we tackle anxiety?
Anxiety.
Like I get anxiety when I don't meet my daily targets, or especially when I see the current affairs I need to cover. I can manage all the static portion. I'm confident about it, sir. But when it comes to current affairs, I feel overwhelmed even if I miss a single day. So how do I do that?
Yes. So what I'll suggest is this was also a case with me. It is case with everyone. If there is a topic and you're not able to cover it in time, then you will get an anxiety that okay, it will take a lot of time, and then you'll end up letting it go. You will end up avoiding that step over. I mean, altogether. So just think that even if you're not able to remember it, even if you're not able to get it, you just have to finish it. What strategy I took is I have to finish the FR cloud in one day. I know that lot of data, 70 to 80%, I won't be able to remember it. I know that for sure, but I have to read it once, just once. Okay. So when you are when if you are engaged with some work and you skip your time, then definitely you have to get, I mean, take out some extra time to cover it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
For the first time, it will take a lot of effort and you will get demotivated in many ways. But just focus that even if it is fast, even if it is, I won't be able to, I am not able to understand, even if it is like I am not even remembering it, no problem. Just finish it. Finishing is very important. Okay. Then again, revising it and finishing it is very important.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Next question is, how many months of study PDF should we cover?
Sorry?
How many months of study PDF should one read for the exam?
As I said that I studied for mains, I studied a PDF of 12 months. But for the last 8 months, I studied uh, questions. I mean, I studied many topics, for example, which are important. But for the last, apart from that, till 12 months, I decided that I study only 12 to 15 topics. Maximum, I'll take 15 topics from 15 news lists. Sorry, not topics, news. 15 news from every month, whether it is index, whether it is scheme related, whether it is a report. So I'm take my important schemes and data is important schemes and important news, and then I studied like that.
Okay.
Because if you will study everything from each and every month, you will not be able to recollect it. You will need many revisions.
Any book for QRE?
No, as I already mentioned about it, I prepared for CAT and I got a decent percentile and got an admission in Institute of Forest Management. So I had some knowledge of quantitative aptitude and QRE section. So I started preparing from mock itself. But if you are preparing from scratch, I guess I'm not the right person to suggest any book.
Okay. So should we include examples in descriptive writing, especially in management questions?
Examples, if the question demands, I think in management, I in management, if the question came on conflict, the question came on personality, then you can give example, but the example should be like in a you should create a situation based example. You should not mention some personality's name from India or something like that. I refrained from that. If you talk about conflict and if we talk about an example, and I said that in an organization, if two individuals are fighting for the same resources, then there is a case, then there can be a conflict. So this is an example, which is a qualitative example, not an specific. I did not mention any person's name or organization's name or something like that. So in management, examples of like this can be helpful.
Okay. So can you discuss your weaknesses, like weak areas during preparation, and how did you strategize for that?
Okay. So weaknesses in terms of studying or weaknesses in terms of my general life?
Preparation, like weak areas during
Preparation
your,
only.
yeah.
Okay. Because there are two kinds of weaknesses which come in the way of preparation in general also, because if there are family engagements, if you are mm, I mean interested in watching Netflix, if you are interested in playing some sports, if you are interested in surfing internet, so that are your general life, your lifestyle problems. These are your lifestyle problems which comes in the way of preparation. So if you talk about preparation only, then weaknesses are that many times I start studying, and when again I do not get, I'm not able to remember or recollect anything, or at the time of studying I'm not able to get any concept. For example, there are various RBI reports, various RBI circulars which you study in FS lot, but you won't be able to get it that what it is saying. There are some percentage change, there are some rules change, so you won't be able to get, because you are not aware of that kind of concept. So at that time you get demotivated. So this was my weakness. If I regularly I get some this kind of answers, this kind of topics, I stopped studying that book or that particular thing. So after that, what I did is to overcome this, what I did is I faced this weakness for a long time, and everybody may face this weakness. So what I did is, when I keep one book on table and one book beside me, because if I am studying this current affairs cloud, and if I got bored and I got demotivated for studying it, because it is a lengthy document and you have to be very patient about when reading it. So I keep the management book for on the side. So if I am getting demotivated and I feel like sleeping or doing anything else, I took the management book and start studying anything from there. So only way to refresh your mind is switching the topics or switching the subjects. Continuously studying one subject will demotivate you, or will tire you. You will feel fatigue in studying continuously studying single topic. So plan accordingly, and do not stick on single topic for a long time, because it will definitely demotivate you. So this was my biggest weakness. And second weakness was that I like watching English series, and crime series. So if I start one series, then I'll complete it, and that ruin that will definitely ruin my study. But still, I was not able to stick to my time plan. So later I deleted all related apps from my phone 3 months before that, and I took a pledge to myself that I will not download it again until the exam is done. Exam is over. So you have to delete it. It will take a lot of effort to delete it, but you have to delete it.
Okay, so those are your weaknesses. Okay, Jayesh, I would like to ask you, like, if you can give some suggestions on our initiative we learn.
Sorry,
Any suggestions to improve the initiative we learn here?
I believe the platform is very good, and I totally relied for descriptive practice on that on your platform only, and also about the PIB and newspaper. So these are very, I mean, your platform is, I mean, very good, and you continuously motivate candidates also. You motivated me a lot also. Personally, I messaged you, and every time you reply. That is the good part about the VLAN platform. So uh, I am not able to directly think that what can we do to improve. But the thing is, if on VLAN, if you are able to share the uh, I mean, just like I said that I will share the PDF, or I will share my notes. So if you are able to share some examples of ideal notes or ideal study PDF or something like that, because people, as I came to know that people are, I mean, confused about how to read current affairs, how to read schemes, from where to read it. So if you are able to provide a single a framework of strategy, or if you're able to provide some examples of students, earlier students who have cleared it, I'll also share it with you, and you can share it on the platform. So something like that will give a lot of people a good understanding that what a person has done in his journey of becoming an RBI officer. So this is the thing, because only this was, I mean, I left over there. This was not there in your platform till now, that there is
Sure.
a
Sure.
sample of. Okay.
Okay,
So
I would try to accommodate your suggestions. Thank you so much, Jayesh, for joining us today.
thank you, and thank you everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
everyone.
please go on.
I would again like to congratulate and wish you all the best for your upcoming journey.
Thank you, thank you.
So, any
Uh,
parting words of wisdom for our aspirants?
yes, I'll give some parting words of wisdom. First is, always keep the syllabus with you and read it every 2 days. Okay, just you have to remember your syllabus. Many people, I ignored it. You might have also ignored it, but you have to keep it like that. First, second thing is, a lot of people will give you gyan. Like I also gave a lot of gyan, but that is of no use to you. You just have to prepare your own strategy according to your time and your strength, as well as your weaknesses. I took a lot of gyan, and but the only thing helping me was my strategy only. Okay, so this was it. Third point is that try to cover the syllabus before I mean, make your strategy from now for 3 months only. Do not linger on till mains, because you won't be able to get any time after the notification comes. You have to prepare for prelims. Once you clear the prelims, you have to prepare for mains. And preparation means you just have to revise it. You will have time to revise only. You do not have time to prepare for anything. So from now, if you are making strategy from now, try to complete in 2 to 3 months. Try to complete the syllabus as well as the because I faced a lot of problem for preparing last month's current affairs, because I was facing a time crunch, and I have to last month current affairs. You will not have any source for any current affairs in the last month when the exam comes, even if we talk about prelim, or even if we talk about mains. So last 2 months current affairs, we have to put a lot of stress. You have to put a lot of time to cover them. And also, please learn from my failure, because everyone shares a success strategy. But I know that I was failed miserably the first 3 times. So, I mean, optimize your time and optimize your preparations. So these are the things I would be sharing with you. And one more thing: many people are very intelligent. Many people have a good understanding of each topic. So you will see a video mentioning that I cleared the exam in 4 months. I cleared the exam in 5 to 6 months. But that was not the case with me. And even if I had some understanding of some topics, for example, management, I had understanding of management from post-graduation diploma. But still, but still, as an average student, I had to prepare a lot. I had to put a lot of effort. No, hard work has no substitute. Smart work is for people who are very intelligent, even who are having a good background. So 2-3 months preparation, 4 months, 5 months videos are good to lure you. But I mean, if you know how much, what is your understanding level, then you have to strategize according to that. Because people easily relate to the person, and they will say that okay, he cleared in 3 months. I'll also be clear. I may also be able to clear it in 4 to 5 months. So something like that. I also related to many people earlier. Many people said that main prelims is very easy and you will be able to clear it 15 days. And I failed to do that because that was their journey. So thank you everyone for listening to me.
Thank you, Jayesh, for this insightful session. I also share big Gyan posts on my channel, but I think the gist of this session says that I'll quote you only. No one knows about your situation. Only you.
And you are still,
Yeah, only you know about your struggle, and only you can come up with the best strategy for yourself. So with those words, I would like to again thank you, and thanks everyone for joining. Thank you again, Jayesh, and all the best for your upcoming events.
thank you everyone. Good night.
Good night.